We're continuing our conversation here with Vance Kirkpatrick, United States Navy veteran. So we're back here talking with Vance, and I was thinking, helicopter service there and flying that. Southern California was very unique in certain aspects, and with law enforcement, and of course the eyes in the sky was a big deal because LA was so big. And helicopters.
It's so big and it's so spread out.
Yeah.
So it's been a very valuable law enforcement resource.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, even today, I mean, it's still the technology they have nowadays. I mean, the cameras they have on these helicopters now and stuff. It's like you can look in the guy's back pocket.
Yeah. When I was down at the air unit in the 80s, the latter part of the 80s, we had FLIR units. We had 2 FLIR units that we could put on forward-looking infrared radar, and we were able to attach it to any of our helicopters, and it was very useful.
Oh, yeah.
It was like I could recall out on a industrial burglary call and seeing the observer was able to see the guy. He was in a tree, but he picked up the heat, his body heat, and it just showed it clear as a bell. He was hiding up in a tree.
Yeah.
Another time, one of the crews followed footprints on a cool night in the sand at the beach. Wow. And found a suspect.
Oh, wow. That's amazing,
And at the time, LAPD didn't have FLIR in their helicopters or any of the other agencies, so occasionally we'd be called out to do a FLIR search for them. One occasion they were able to find a buried body. As a body putrefied and heated up, just enough heat difference where in the evening it would pop out and they could see where the body was.
Yeah. Very unique things in Southern California. I don't know where you were during that time period of like the riots, the Rodney King thing. I mean, air stuff. I don't know if you were flying during that time period.
Well, no, Rodney King happened just about the time I retired.
Right, okay, yeah.
But I was at Crescenta Valley, or then Montrose Station, at the time of the 1965 riots.
Right.
I was a sergeant there, and we had various units would go out in a group and frequently not really work in the downtown area or the Watts area, but in the surrounding area.
Yeah.
And the guys put in a lot of time.
Oh, they did. Even during the earthquakes of Northridge, or after, you would probably retire at Northridge, but there was the Sylmar quake.
Well, there was a quake in, what was the one in 70, the Vets Hospital?
Yeah, that was the Sylmar up there. Yeah.
I was a lieutenant, watch commander at Temple Station then, and I went out I worked 5 or 6 days. I was in charge of the command post at the old Vets Hospital. Yeah. From 6 at night to 6 in the morning.
Up there in Mission Hills and stuff up there. Yeah. And of course, the Olive View Hospital was the other hospital that took a big hit.
The new hospital there. And what happened there, it got shaking and it had stairwells on each end, and they banged against the building and eventually fell over.
Yeah.
One fellow, I understand, actually was in a day room in one of those towers and rode it down to the ground.
Wow.
And survived.
Yeah, that was quite a deal. And once again, and that's what every community has its problems with natural disasters or whatever. But LA is very unique because during that time period and stuff, the amount of fires that we would have. And once again, your air assets and stuff, have to help coordinate.
Yeah, they're very versatile and kind of a force extender for law enforcement.
Right, and it seems like the sheriff department, the aviation detachment, that stuff needs to be well funded because it's really the eyes in the skies.
The department has really done their job, and in getting that going early on.
Yeah.
And before I came on the department in 1956, and when I left, we had 18 helicopters and
Yeah.
2 to 3 airplanes.
Yeah. So you retired, moved up. You live up in Lake Hughes, I think, up there, right?
Leona Valley.
Leona Valley. You're a Leona Valley guy there, and you have your private pilot's license still. And do you still fly?
Yes, I do.
You do.
Yeah, I have a commercial license and instructor license for single-engine, multi-engine helicopters.
Sure. Do you have a plane?
Yeah, I have a plane out at Foxfield.
Foxfield there, and I know one time you were saying I was looking for an airplane crash, and you thought you invited me one day. We'll go up there and fly down the ridge out there and see if we can pin that. I think you went up and took some pictures and trying to look for some stuff. But
yeah, that was a World War II crash.
Exactly, that
never did find
BT-13.
it.
Yeah, and so and it's neat and stuff, And so getting your pilot's license still, all your medicals and things like that, you got a long ways to go. It looks like,
Well, I'm 83, so probably it won't be too long.
Yeah, but you know what? You look pretty darn healthy to me.
I still could pass a medical.
Yeah.
Of course, when I worked, I had to have a first-class medical.
Yeah.
Now I only require a third class.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back on your whole career of Navy, Sheriff Department, all the things stuff, anything special that really stands out in your life and stuff that was really like, that was really a special part, or that was really something spectacular to be a part of?
Well, there are a lot of spectacular things.
I
Nothing
can
comes
imagine.
to mind.
Yeah.
Looking back, though, I think one of the best decisions I made was going in the Navy when I did.
Yeah. Yep.
It got me interested in education, and when I got out, I knew how to study, I knew how to get through school, and ended up getting several college degrees.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting for even young people today. Even though there's some headlines right now about a certain individual that was kind of downgrading military service. Really, in the military is an opportunity for education like no other, because a lot of people don't have the ability to go to a college.
Yeah.
And things like that, and that military gives you that opportunity.
And the unique thing about the military that the public schools don't have is they get your attention.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I remember that attention as it was flying across the bay in the form of a trash can. Or something like that when I wasn't paying attention. But and I want to say this because you went to your school back there in Memphis, and me being an Air Force guy when I was going through my civil engineering classes, was the way the military had it structured, because we had to learn very important things in a very short period of time, and those classes were set up that we would take 17 to 21-year-old kids, and I call them, I was kids, young men, and we would get that subject matter. And then once we got to our duty station, it was a continuation of the education.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you wondered why, you had SR-71s or whatever aircraft you were working on, or Navy, what airplanes, when you think like, well, gosh, I'd expect somebody like 40, 50 years old working on an airplane, not some young 20-year-old and stuff out there wrenching on an F-16 or an F-18.
Well, it's amazing what the military could do in training and the discipline.
Yeah.
And all the guys I worked with were absolutely competent.
Oh yeah, and that's once again the unseen aspect of military service, and they just don't take the average person anymore and stuff. You got to really kind of have your act together, but it does open up doors for young people to excel.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
go in there. So, all right. Well, I guess this pretty much, we'll wrap it up. I see we've been here for about an hour, I guess. And gosh, Vance, I'm so glad to finally get you in here and sit down and stuff. You've got a great story. And like I said, you've got so much more. I'm sure we could probably get you back here and still do another hour of good things. And, I enjoy... you're part of the West Antelope Valley Historical Society, and you go to their meetings, and I see you out at the Rock Inn every once in a while. Don't you meet out there like every Friday or something?
Every Friday, the geezers, that's
the
old folks,
yeah,
go out there for dinner.
yeah, and have to check my driver's license to see if I'm geezer age yet. But
Oh, you're getting would qualify you.
you qualify me, okay, and stuff. So that'd be great.
We even have our own waitress out at the.
There you
Rock.
go,
Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi. There you go. So, and for all those that don't know where the Rock is, the Rock Inn out in Lake Hughes is one of the greatest old establishments around the valley. Correct? Yeah, and good food and good company out there. So, anyway, that stuff. Vance, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you later. And for now, we're going to wrap it up here at AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News. And we will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to this installment of AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News.